difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I pray that you will grow intellectually so that you can understand the problems of the world and where you fit into in that world picture.
Brought to you by Nerdboxer Media. Nerdboxer was created to provide a platform and voice for Black intellectual males, particularly biological fathers. Though our content is aimed at Black males, we produce content that anyone could listen to. If there is an issue with us promoting a positive message to the Black American male, this is not the podcast for you. We will not ever entertain the idea of changing that stance. This podcast will have intervals of dialogue provided by myself and the smooth sounds of chill hop music. Proper credits for the music is located in the comments. That being said, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, y'all? It's Knowledge Rise for the Knowledge Rise podcast presented by Nerdboxer Media. I want to first say thank you to Antrell Roberts for the intro. Always inspires me when I hear your voice, brother. Appreciate it. But yeah, y'all, it's episode 4. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. Very proud of myself, actually, that I didn't buckle under the pressure. I had some pretty frustrating moments back here with the little laptop at one point. Was thinking about switching to a Mac. Still thinking about switching to a Mac, but until Big Bertha goes down the tube, I'm going to keep on rocking. But enough of that. I must say thank you. Thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for likes. Thanks for the subscribes. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for visiting the website if you've been there, nerdboxer.com. Thank you for my Instagram family. As usual, I got to give a shout out. Petals from a Black Rose, my man Know It All Rants, Mr. Freeport, Random Negro, Disbeliever of Lies. As you know, Racine Mcgee, I gotta shout him out. He is a part of that family. Shout out to Brother Ben X and the work he's doing. Shout out to Mr. Enneagram himself, Keith, aka Dork Chocolate. We're gonna have him on the show a little later in the year, dealing with Enneagram, teaching everybody about what it is and how it helps and the advancements that have been made, and the work that needs to be done to help spread it throughout our community to give people a better understanding of how our minds work and how our habits are a direct result of how our brains are wired. But we will get into that a little later. Today, I'm very thankful. I'm very happy. I'm very excited. And it is now time to introduce our first guest on the Knowledge Rise podcast. You've heard me mention his name. It's about time you guys hear his voice. His name is Racine Mcgee, author of the book So Frail, A Reality to Black Male Masculinity, and his new book that has just been released, So Frail 2, Toxic Femininity. These books are available at Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, and BookBaby. I gotta admit, I am a little bit older than Racine, but the man has knowledge beyond his years. And instead of me going on and on about how great the man is, I wanted to bring him on the podcast and let everyone see for themselves, as well as pick up some gems that I'm sure he brought with him. But thank you, Mr. Mcgee, for coming on the show. Why don't you take some time to tell everybody who you are, what you're about, and a little bit about the So Frail series.
What's happening, everybody? I am Racine Mcgee. I am the author of Surreal, Reality to Black Male Masculinity, Surreal 2, Toxic Femininity, Hitting It Raw, Living the Raw Plant-Based Lifestyle for Life. I am also the creator of the Hitting It Raw program, which is a program designed to help people that are on the path transition into the vegan plant-based lifestyle. It's not a matter of, trying to manipulate anybody, coerce anybody to transitioning, but anybody who's on the path or, wants to go through the process to make it stick, for the longevity of your life, that's what that class is set up for. I'm also, I guess you would call it a vlogger. I have a YouTube series system where I cover all things from relationships, entrepreneurship, just different things that, I typically discuss on a regular basis, but, sometimes I don't like repeat myself. So if I get it recorded in a video, I can always forward somebody to it. But, yeah, that's just, a little bit about me so far. And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
We are blessed to have you, Brother Racine. We really do appreciate it. But yeah, man, it's finally good to get you on the air, man. How you doing?
I mean, what can I say, man? I'm doing sensational, man. This life is phenomenal. I'm just, enjoying life. Like, I'm feeling good today. Today's a beautiful day, sunshine, the birds are chirping, your energy's always good, we're alive, we're breathing, we're seeing another one. So that's always good for me. So I'm doing great. How about yourself? How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. I've always had aspirations to do something with radio or some type of broadcasting, but took the initiative, man. And here I am talking to an author and hardworking man and a brother I respect. So everything's love with me, man. I can't even lie about it. How's everything going for you in 2019, man?
How has 2019 been so far for me? 2019 has been great so far. I just had a birthday in April. Everything has just been aligned. I've been able to spend time with my family, see them and everything. Getting back to myself, enjoying nature, getting focused and prep for this next year. I don't know, it's just smooth, man. There's no friction. Surreal 2 was just released. There's really no complaints. All I can say is 2019 so far has been good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. So far this year we've dealt with some losses here, some natural causes, some have been not so natural, but we're here to make positive changes. But tell us about yourself.
Well, as I said before, I'm an author, a little bit vlogger. I'm also, guide, mentor, teacher, healer. I dabble in a lot of different things because, I started to discover and uncover that I have a plethora of gifts that, I'm kind of responsible for giving to the world. So, it's like that's pretty much what it is. I grew up in multiple places. My first, foundation of life, I grew up on the West Coast in Long Beach, California. Then I moved over to North Carolina, lived there for a little bit. I lived in the West Indies a little bit, in Dominica when I went to school over there. Then, I lived in Philly, for the last 3 years. I'm back in North Carolina now just to spend time with, family and friends. Because in my time in Philly, I was in go mode. I was in grind time. So, it was just like I had to, I guess stay tunnel vision. And it's like because of that, I missed out on a lot. But now I'm, catching up on that time because, that was always my vision anyway. So yeah, that's, pretty much a little bit about me, man. I'd like to just think of myself as, just a creator who likes to, just do what he does,
Man, and we want you to keep doing what you do, man. But I want to get into the book, man, and ask some questions.
Okay, we can ask some questions.
Kind of fill some holes in. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine to me. I'm ready.
I'm ready too, man. All right.
Ready for everything you got for me.
That's what's up. So why So Frail?
All right, so why the title So Frail? All right, look. So So Frail came about because I had a friend. And she was always hitting me up. She would always ask me, why do men act like this? Why do men do that? Why do men do that? So I was always giving her, insight from a man's perspective, but unbiased because I seen her as like a sister. So, I'll always give her that raw insight as if, she was my sister. And on her social media, she would always snap back on dudes and say stuff like, masculinity so frail or masculinity so fragile. So I was like, yo, people always, coming for us. So then it's like, I seen I seen like a wave sort of happening. And it was like, I kept seeing that hashtag. I kept seeing that post, masculinity so frail, masculinity so fragile. So, for me, it was more so, okay, I need to tell this story, right? I need to give this information, but I need to be able to captivate the minds from the beginning. So it's like, what's the best way for me to do that? And how can I do that strategically? And so it was more so like a marketing thing, because it was like, once I seen how everybody was moving so frail, I was like, so frail, reality of black male masculinity. And I was able to go from there. But it was off of the opposite side, because when you see the so frail thing, it's like it made people want to seem like it was being attacked. But it was like, okay, I'm going to use this as my opportunity to get my message out. You know what I mean? That's how that came about.
Much respect, much respect. So how much has fear been a factor in regards to you choosing to take the path of becoming a writer?
How much did fear factor into becoming a writer? It factored into a lot, because it's like when I put things into perspective, I was like, yo, can I really do this? Like, not being a writer, but, not can I write, but it was, can I be a writer? Because it's like, I'm gonna use this, like I'm trying to, get paid off of this. It's like, yo, can I put this out and be confident enough in what I have, and that was the biggest fear, because it was like, with writing, it's an intangible thing. Anybody can write. Anybody can write a book and things like that. But it's an intangible thing, because like when you tell people, hey, I want to write a book, you're going to get the naysayers, you're going to get the drawback, you're going to get people that are going to come from a different perspective. Like, yo, well, can you write? What have you written? And things like that. So it was like that whole drawback was what the biggest part of the fear was. But I guess I was able to easily overcome it, because I had been writing all my life. You know what I'm saying? I had already been writing all my life, right? From poetry, jam sessions, different things like that. I always been writing. So my pen has always, been at hand. And it's like on my Instagram, like I had set up my Instagram platform like this I guess it was on accident, but I guess, divine revelation, how it played out now, like for the last 6 years. So it's like, I've always written captions like that. And every time people will constantly say, hey, I'm ready for the book. I'm ready for a book. I'm ready for a book. So it was like the fear was able to be dissipated off of just being on social media, because people had read my captions. They had seen my syntax and how I put things together, and they had rocked with it. So I was like, okay, that gave me the confidence. But when the real world kicked in, I was telling friends and all of that, I want to write a book. It was just like, are you sure? Do you think? Like, that was the hardest part, because I'm in these people's spaces on a regular basis, So it was like fear was definitely there, and it was a major factor. But it was like, once you can understand and you can overcome that fear, it's really just a choice, and it's obsolete once you step over that hurdle,
Man, that is nothing but the truth. Me making this podcast is a prime example, brother. Now, I remember you decided to leave the hotel industry. Describe that feeling.
All right. So the feeling, so when I finally left the hotel industry, okay, so it's like, I was indirectly in the hotel industry. So I was an account manager with a valet service. And with that valet service, we contract through the hotel. So we still work directly with them and everything. We had to know the operations of the hotel, room count, and everything like that. So it was pretty much a very similar thing. But the feeling of being able to resign professionally from that was the best feeling in the world. Because I'm going to tell you how it played out. So the first time, it was like I kind of got into it with at the hotel that I was in. One of the first hotels that I was in as an account manager, me and the senior manager there or whatnot, we didn't get along. And the reason why we didn't get along, because I felt what he was doing was wrong to my team, and I voiced that. It was wintertime. It was dead winter in Philly, so it was like temperatures got down to 10 degrees, and then we had a wind chill that took it below zero. So I was like, this is crazy. So they told me that I needed to tell my valet team to stay outside, and I couldn't humanly do that to myself. So in that moment, from that account, they spoke with the district manager about me and everything like that. But they got me while I was on PTO. I took PTO, left the state, and then that's when they sent emails and everything about me. So I was like, all right, they're trying to attack me. So that moment, I came back, and then it's like I get a call from my district manager. It's like, yeah, we need to talk about this. So they actually, the original plan was, I guess what they were trying to do was terminate me, but they knew they couldn't terminate me because there was nothing on paper or nothing solid that I had done wrong. You know what I'm saying? And they knew there would have been a lawsuit on their hands because they knew the type of person that they were dealing with. So they transferred me over. So when they transferred me over, this was like January. And I had already put in my mind, I was telling myself this is like 2016. I said, I'm going to retire at 28. I'm going to retire at 28. So I just kept putting in work and putting in work. So when they did this, it was like January. It was like January of that year. So I was like on my 28th birthday. And so from that point, what happened was I got transferred to another site. But it worked itself out because I got transferred to just to an assistant account manager, but I still made the same pay and I just had to do less work. So it worked out for me. So it's like as time is going in, it's getting closer and closer to my birthday. I was able to, I was able to give them my resignation letter. And then, thank them for all of the stuff that they taught me and everything that I learned. And I was able to walk away. That feeling is indescribable because it asserted my power. Because in one aspect, I was powerless to the fact that what they told me was they pretty much told me that they showed me they had the power to move me at will and terminate me. And I said, I don't like that. They can control my money. They can do whatever they wanted to do. So I said, all right, I'm going to fix them. So 4 months later, I was able to give them that same thing back and say, you know what, I'm done. I can wipe my hands with it. So that feeling was the feeling of power, man. Like it's not only power, but power and strength. And that let me see that, I could do this for the rest of my life. And I felt like that's what it's like, to really be a man, to be able to assert yourself and say, I don't need you, you need me.
Much respect for that last line, man. So what have some challenges been for you?
What challenges haven't I faced, man? Like, I guess like all my life, I've always, faced different challenges. From the cliche of being the underdog, making it out of the hood, and then going to academia, having to prove that I'm worthy of being here from coming out of the hood. But those are all, for me, those are all minuscule challenges because I knew I could accomplish those. Some of my biggest challenges were, being on my own, traveling alone to different states, different countries, exploring and then understanding myself. That was the greatest challenge that I faced, was becoming who I needed to be as a man, as a person, in the absence of my father. Like that had to be the greatest challenge, because it's like, how do you become a man when you've never seen a template? And it's like, where do you go? Like, what do you do when you have to assert certain things? So that was one of my major challenges. Trying to survive and separate coming out of the streets and everything like that. Now, I don't want it to come off because, that I was a gangster or nothing like that type of street person, but I hung with the people that did that. So it's almost like association, you know what I mean? So that was a task in itself, because it's like, how do I maneuver, try to bring my friends out of it with me and, still not get consumed by it. It doesn't work like that, because they got to want to do it. So it's like, that was one of my biggest challenges, overcoming the fact that I want to help everybody, but can't. It's a plethora of things. But those are some of the biggest challenges that I've ever faced, becoming a man without a father, and just overcoming and beating the odds. Beating the odds, as cliche as it is, because, we talk about it a lot, being able to beat the odds. But I think not only beating the odds, but surviving the odds and thriving outside of the odds as well. Those are among the biggest challenges that I've ever faced.
All right. What have been some of the rewards since going into business for yourself? Since going into business for myself, the biggest reward, the only reward to me actually that matters, because this is the only thing that I was striving for, is time. Like, that's it. My only goal was time. Like, I know a lot of people feel like money is what it is. Yeah, the money is good, but the money affords you the time, and that's the reward. That's the one that I wanted, like the time. Being able to, pick up and say, okay, I want to go here for however long I want to go. And know that I still have resources and I have skills that'll generate the money that I am while I'm over there, while I'm gone, whatever the case may be. That's been my reward. That's been my greatest reward. Not worrying about not having to set an alarm clock, man, and waking up, man. Like when I want to go to sleep, I can go to sleep. When I want to wake up, I can wake up. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I don't have to get upset like, oh man, I'm gonna be tired in the morning. Like, I don't have to deal with that anymore. So the biggest reward that I've seen is time. It's time and opportunities.
the opportunities that I have set up for my entrepreneurship ventures, they have afforded me different things, different outlets, where I can, I guess put my best foot forward and, be myself and, in essence, do me. But yeah, those are my rewards, man, time and opportunities. And now that the two coincide, now that I have the time, I rarely miss opportunities anymore. That's a pivotal point, because I've noticed that a lot of us in life, we can have a solid opportunity, but our time is so taken up that we can't act on it. We're not able to put that best foot forward to seize that opportunity. But, that's it, man. That's my reward right there. Time. I get to spend it with my family, my friends, just being able to do what I want to do and not have to rush or, worry about life. It seems like since that point, since going into business for myself, it seems like time actually slowed down. I'm no longer rushing thinking that I have to beat the deadline, and the only deadline, that I'm really worried about is achieving something before my time runs out on this earth, so now that I have that, it's like, that's it, man. That's really all I wanted, and that's all that I got, man, and I love every bit of it.
That's what's up. Now let's talk about Surreal 2. What's the difference between how it felt on this release as opposed to the last release?
Okay, the major differences between this release and the last one was anticipation. And it was when I put out Surreal 1, it's like nobody knew what was coming. Nobody could expect it. So I didn't even know what to expect, really. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, okay, I'm just writing a book and I'm going to give some insight and I'm just going to, let it go how it's going to go. But Surreal set a standard so high that I didn't even anticipate it. Like, seeing, getting on Amazon and seeing that I got 7 5-star reviews, and it's like, these are all genuine reviews. It's like, and that had me like, oh man, what am I gonna do about this second one? It's like, the information needs to be out. So it's like, in the coming times of the release, I actually wrote Surreal 2 twice. There's a whole nother book of Surreal 2. And that was the book that didn't get released. The reason why it didn't get released was because I wrote that one to compete with Surreal 1. Like, I had lost that ideology of write the information, give the information out. It was like, I gotta outdo the first one. Like, that was my whole thing. I gotta outdo the first one. So there's a whole Surreal 2 that is not gonna be, it's discarded, but it's like, that information, I wrote a whole book prior to that. And then after reading it, I was like, I'm trying to compete with the first one as opposed to doing what I need to do. So I had to step back and just, erase my mind of what Surreal did. I had to eliminate the whole thought process of Surreal as I'm writing Surreal 2. And that's how I was able to go into it. So the biggest thing, like I said, that the main difference was on the release was anticipation, because I had set a standard and I had people that were waiting for it. That were like, yo, when is it coming out? When is it coming out? And my initial anticipation, I'm like, okay, I'm right. I'm going to drop it on September 18th. And that was my intent. But it was like, life happened and things just happened to keep getting pushed back and everything like that. So I was like, all right, and then it's like I have people, sending me messages, text messages, DMs, they're calling me, yo, when is it coming out? Like, what's going on? You dropped the ball, what you do, and that kind of hit me a little bit harder, because it's like, man, now I got people waiting. You know what I mean? That was it. Now I have people waiting. So it went from the difference being just, hey, nobody knows this is coming, so I can do whatever I need to do with it. And then the next one is like, now people are expecting something. So I have to not only bring what I have to bring, but I have to outdo the first one. But once I broke the mentality of trying to outdo the first one and trying to stay in line with what the first one was supposed to be about, that's when everything opened up and it was able to move. So yeah, that's the biggest differences between the releases, just the anticipation of it all, and then actually having people expect me to deliver.
We're getting into the genius of the man known as Racine Mcgee. So what are some key takeaways you hope the reader acknowledges?
The main takeaways that I want everybody to take away from this one, and even the last one, is the conceptualization of principles and understanding and being able to see the underlying tone of what something is really trying to present. And to be able to walk away from it and understand what masculinity truly is. And not only masculinity, but femininity, and see how they coincide with each other. So, as you know, from the first one is strictly mainly about masculinity. So the second one is about femininity, but it's about how they are expressed with us as men. especially black men. That's something that we have to uncover, because once we can tap back into our masculinity and truly understand what it is, we free ourselves, man. Like, we free ourselves because our minds open up to a whole nother level. They expand on a different paradigm. And this is not just, wishful thinking. Like, this is how it had to happen for me. Like, once I tapped into my masculine component, I was able to achieve amazing things, and I know that the same thing can happen for all brothers. So it's like, I want that to be the major takeaway. When you read Surreal 1, Surreal 2, understand that it's about the essence of who you are. It's not about being manly or anything like that. Those things are extensions, but it's about your true core essence to your soul on how to actually maneuver the right way within this world.
Okay. All right. So what's your favorite part of the book? Like, what sticks out to Racine?
All right. My favorite part of Surreal 2, I'm going to have to say is, that's a tough one. All right. My favorite part of Surreal 2 is going to have to be my chapter on power and strength. That chapter right there was pivotal for me, because like, once I mastered that concept and I started to see it in real time and I was able to apply that in my own life, it took me to a whole nother level, because I've learned, I'm watching, as whether we're attempting to be activists or attempting to just uplift our people and move according to liberating our people. One thing that we always we have the power, but we always lack the strength. And I'm seeing that, and I had to redefine that for myself, because it's like, at what point do you falter? Even the strong people, even the powerful ones, at some point they'll slip up. At some point they can identify they have a price. At some point something's going to shift them, and it's like, that part, that chapter, that whole chapter, it resonates the most with me, because it's like, once you get your power, now you have to maintain your strength. Nothing should be able to move you off your block. Nothing should be able to push you to change your perception, because your power is going to be there, but your strength, that's what's going to sustain you, and that's what's going to push you into the higher realms of life, and actually solidify you as a man. But that's just my perspective, and that's how I look at it. Like, I like to view strength. I like to view strength over power, and that's why I had to include that chapter in there. So yeah, that's hands down my favorite part.
All right. Now, how can this book help the older generation and the new generation bridge the gap in regard to communicating with each other?
I think this book can help the older and the new generation bridge the gap by my presentation and my connection to both. It's like J. Cole said on the song Middle Child. He said, I'm stuck in the middle of two generations. I'm little bro and big bro all at once. And I feel like that. I'm able to actively connect with the older generation, like my uncles, the elders, and all of that. Like, I'm able to talk to them. Like, they come to us, and I'm always like a medium. When I speak to the older generation, they're like, yo, but you different from them. I'm like, I'm really not that different from the other guys. It's just my choices. But at the same time, we can't pick and choose when we want to communicate. And then from the younger generation, they like, yo, the old heads always talking to you, but you know what I mean? Like, you not like them. Like, yo, we need to listen to them, but they need to have something for us to listen to. So this book, not only like this whole series, what it is designed to do is to bridge that gap, and it's designed to bridge the gap with accountability. The older generation, y'all have to understand that we're not attacking y'all, or I'm not attacking y'all directly, but I have to hold y'all accountable. And because nobody has ever held y'all accountable for that, it seems like I'm attacking y'all because I'm younger than you, and you feel like, okay, you've lived more years on this life. That may be cool, but it's like, we are going through something totally different now as the youth. I mean, I'm technically not a youth anymore, but I'm still in that bracket. And I'm looking at, when I'm talking to these younger guys and everything, and they're looking up to me, it's like, yo, who do you look up to? Which is a difficult thing to answer, And it's like that. This bridges the gap, because it takes the understanding of the streets, and it takes the understanding of what the youth are talking about, but it combines the wisdom of what the old heads are trying to present to us. And I don't mean old heads in a disrespectful way. It's just the way that I flow sometimes. but it takes the wisdom of what the old heads were trying to give to us but couldn't, and it takes the experience of what the youth are actually going to, and it combines the two and it merges them. You know, I've had the older guys, you know, tell me like, yo, this is a phenomenal book. It's just like, yo, how were you, like, there's things that you taught me that I didn't even know about. And then I got my younger guys, and that's what touched me the most. When I lived in Philly, one of my employees, he read my book and was like, yo, bro, like, I got to get out of the streets. Like, I can't, like, that touched me. Like that, you know, because I was able to, regardless of how I wrote it, I was able to connect to him too. So this book, it helps connect both generations because it separates that divide of, you know, why don't y'all listen to us, or why don't y'all teach us? You know, it's like, this is why. Sometimes it's not even our fault, but we have to look at the bigger picture of what is really going on and, you know, break that down from there.
As an older man, bro, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. What's your overall goal as a writer?
My overall goal as a writer is, you know, I never really thought about that before. I would have to say my overall goal, though, my overall goal as a writer is to deliver the messages that I'm supposed to deliver. I'm seeing just the way that I connect with people, just the way that that I give information out, and the way I'm able to condense information down that may be, you know, complex on different levels. So it's like my overall goal as a writer is to take whatever messages that I'm supposed to give in this world, whatever messages I'm supposed to transmute to everybody else, and give them in a manner that people can actually get them as they're supposed to. So that way, whatever seed has to be planted for whatever generation, whatever child, or whatever spark I'm supposed to be creating, that's all I wanted. That's all I want to happen. That's my goal. I want whatever spark, whatever flame has to be fanned. I want to do what I have to do and, you know, implant that. And I know that, like, I can do that through my videos. I can do that through other things. But as a writer, it hits the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind a lot better because you're using both aspects of your brain simultaneously as you read. So that's my ultimate goal. Just, you know, deliver my message.
What's up? So what's in Racine's future? I mean, we got movies coming, TV, education, syndicated show. What's in the plans for Mr. Mcgee?
In my future, I don't want to say movies though. I don't think I'm an actor. And I heard, you know, I ain't gonna get into that. But no, I'm not an actor. But as far as the movie side, I do as a writer, you know what I mean, I do want to, you know, prepare a script or something like that. But don't get me wrong, I'm not just going to jump into it because I write. I do want to study, you know, some solid people and everything like that. And I now have the time to be able to do that. So I do see, you know, probably like writing scripts and different things like that. Definitely investing in, you know, just teaching skills to the people of my community, and not just any kind of skills, like skills that build generational wealth on the long run. And it's like teaching you how to solidify different things. I know for a fact, probably at the end of this year, I'm looking to write another quick small ebook, but well, I'm not going to do ebooks because everybody keeps complaining about the ebooks. They want physical ones. So I'm going to do a small book on trading and investing and how to read markets, because that's a skill that I feel everybody needs to have. You need to know, like, who's taking over the market, how it's going and all of that. And you need to know it from, you know, a simple perspective. So I'm going to, you know, same way I did with Hitting It Raw, where I took complex medical science information and, you know, applied it to just the basic everyday life. I'm going to do the same thing with that trading and investing book, because I'm going to show like how to actually read markets, what each particular thing means. And I'm going to break it down as simple as that. What else? I'm gonna do a little bit more enhancing to my my plant-based vegan class, because, you know, I continually study a lot, so there's more now that I can add to it. But yeah, that's about it. And then I'm gonna just, you know, enjoy this life. And I guess I could be in a position to settle down, you know, probably try to find a wife or something. So, you know, who knows what the future holds. I mean, I guess it is what we create. So, you know, that's not here nor there though. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Man, we sure do appreciate you stopping by, brother. Do you have any last words or shout outs?
Yeah. So, I don't know how, who is all going to be reached with this, but, I do just want to, first give a shout out to all the melanated people of the world. We need to stay firm, stay strong. Despite the fear tactics, despite everything that is being imposed against us, we got to continue to put in our work, and we got to continue to uplift our people. I want to give a shout out to Nikki's Thoughts on Instagram. She has a platform called I Just Want My People to Heal, in which she's going through doing her work, man. She's putting in mad work, where she's going over mental health and everything like that. And she'll be having a panel on May 18th. We'll be in Brooklyn. I'll be featured on that, and then we'll be in Philly in July, and I'll be featured on that one as well. So anybody that's hearing this is on the East Coast, come check us out. What else? Shout out to Nerdboxer, man, for having me up here, man. Like this is surreal. Like these are moments that you live for when you putting in your work and you're anticipating, spreading your message to the masses and everything. So, major shout out to you all for allowing me to be able to speak up here. And most importantly, man, I can't forget this, man. Shout out to my mama, yo. She's like the womb, the earth from which I come from. This fruit that's the tree, that's the tree in which I originate. So always love, shout out to my mama. Like, without her, I probably wouldn't, ain't no probably in it. There's like none of this would have been possible. None of this would have been able to happen and transpire in order for me to see the things that I've seen. Yeah, man, that's about it, man. That's it. I'm done on that one.
Well, we thank you, Mr. McGee, again for coming to the show. I'm honored for you to be my first guest. I'm honored to have the first guest be a writer who happens to be one of my favorite authors. That's no exaggeration, man. I wish you nothing but blessings, and you already know Nerdboxer's got your back, and we will continue to promote both books and the books you release in the future. Thank you for the opportunity, brother. I just honestly can't say thank you enough. And,
I thank you for having me, man. Much appreciation. And, that means the world knowing that I've become one of your favorite authors, man. That's like, that's another real, one of those surreal moments. But straight up, I appreciate it. I'm trying to get used to it now. But yeah, I appreciate the opportunity here. And you already know, my slogan ended on everything: peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. Oh yeah, and you can find me on YouTube at Just Scene. Scene is spelled CINE. You can find me on Instagram at _just_scene_. You can also find me on Instagram at the Hitting It Raw Program. You can also find me on Instagram at Surreal Book, and you can find me at Just Scene's merch, where you can get authentic designs from created by me that just tap into the subconscious mind. They come with a subliminal message in them, but the message is about uplifting and about self-improvement for melanated people all over the world. And on a real note, that's it. I'm done on that one, yo. But yeah, again, like I said, appreciate you for having me, man. All love and respect, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McGee. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, he is the author of the book series called Surreal. They are out now. I advise you to get them both, read them both, compare and contrast, and get some dialogue going with the black men you have in your circles, as well as black men in the community. This is our opportunity to shed our bad habits, especially the bad habit of not being able to talk to each other, work with each other, or help each other grow. That's all we want here at Nerdboxer. Your religious affiliations, who you date, who you marry, that's none of our business. However, empowering black men and motivating them and inspiring them to become inspirations for the next generation, assets to the community, and the building blocks to a stronger community as a whole. And not just our communities, our neighbors, and everyone else on the planet. But we can't contribute to that fight or to that cause unless we hold ourselves accountable and fix the things that are wrong with us. Thank you again, Mr. McGee, for stopping by, for the strong words, the powerful words, I should say. Thank everybody for tuning in. Thank everyone for giving us an opportunity to deliver a different type of podcast experience, one that is rooted in uplifting Black men without putting down anyone else. Thank you, everybody. This is Knowledge Rise for the Knowledge Rise podcast presented by Nerdboxer Media. You can visit us on social media at The Real Nerdboxer on Instagram, at The Real Nerdboxer on Facebook, and Nerdboxer on Twitter. Thank you, everybody. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. Thank you for listening.